First of all, you'll need a stencil, a paintbrush, and a clipboard with sandpaper on it, and some double-sided sellotape, which you're going to put on the back of the stencil. Doesn't have to be all over, just a couple of pieces to hold it in place. Now we're going to take the clipboard with the sandpaper on. I use 100 grit, but it doesn't have to be 100 exactly. That's just to give you an idea. So put the clipboard inside the t-shirt underneath where you're going to paint. And then flatten the shirt down. Don't stretch it, just flatten it onto the sandpaper. Now we're going to take the backing paper off the double-sided sellotape and stick the stencil down onto the shirt. The next step is to paint it. One of the keys here is the type of paintbrush. A very inexpensive children's brush is actually best for a job like this. You want something with stiff bristles, and you're going to use a dabbing motion rather than a stroking motion that you would usually use with a paintbrush. The other key is to put just the right amount of paint on the brush. If you put too much, then it's going to seep underneath the stencil. So better to do 2 thin layers of paint rather than one that's too thick. So when I dab into the paint, notice how I dab beside as well, just to make sure that I haven't got too much paint in the bristles. Now just continue that dabbing motion until you've completed the whole of the stencil on the shirt. I use resin paints for this. Here I'm using a resin house paint, and this is a resin metallic. I take this stencil off while the paint is still wet, simply so that I can get the excess paint off the stencil before it dries too much, and I use a wet cloth to clean the stencil. And here's the completed shirt.